without me. Don't leave without me.
Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to show you guys Roblox coding. So basically what you want to do is go to Roblox, go to create. We're going to hop right into Roblox Studio. If you guys don't have Roblox Studio, basically what you can do is go to creations, and this is going to be your creations if you have your profile selected. If you want to do it for a group, make sure you select that group. So like I can do money developers, but if I want to just do my profile, click on your profile. So what you want to do is click on create experience. It should automatically download. Alright, if you don't have Roblox Studio, it'll pop up here and it'll say to download it. Alright, so yeah, right here you'll see this pop up. Click download Studio and you should be good to go. Once we get Studio going, I'm gonna show you guys basic, like beginner coding right now. I'm not gonna go too much into detail, just for the sake of this video. I'm just going to show you guys the basics, okay? You guys will eventually learn and you'll get better at it. I am an intermediate scripter, which means I can do like pretty much, I can do some advanced stuff, but I'm not like super advanced, you know what I mean? Like I don't know how to do module scripts, so I won't be teaching you guys that, but I'll teach you guys everything that I know, so that way if you guys know something I don't know, then you guys will get better. So yeah, I'm just gonna teach you guys everything you should know, so that way you can get started and make a decent game. So once you're in Roblox Studio, it's gonna look like this. You want to go ahead and click new experience. Okay, we're not gonna be building anything, okay, because I am not a builder. I am not the right person to teach you building, but we are going to do some scripting. So first of all, I want to talk about the difference between local and server scripts. So you'll see over here, if you don't have this open, if you don't see these windows over here, you want to go to Home tab. You want to click on the Explorer and Properties, so that way it opens up. Okay, once it's opened, then what you want to do is you'll see Workspace. This is where all your parts are. You'll see lighting. You do not want to put anything, any server scripts in here, just for security purposes. All your scripts, you want to put it in server script service. So all your server scripts are going to go in here. All your local scripts are going to go into starter player. Okay, and there's character and player. So let me show you guys something. So if I want something to only show to me, I'll put it in player. So I'll do local script. So basically I'm not gonna teach you guys like everything. So basically what it's gonna do is it's directories. So this whole thing is called game. So when you type in game, it's the entire game, you know what I mean? And when you do a dot, so dot is basically child, so there's parents and childs. So for example, workspace would be a parent, camera, terrain, spawn location, and base plate would be a child because it's underneath workspace, and workspace is the parent. So if we want to find base plate, I would say game.workspace dot base plate. Alright, so it's gonna find that part. Now I can also change the properties. So if you want to change the properties, so you can do you can find a child's underneath this. So this is a child, but also look, so let me show you guys. So I can do this, and all of these are properties, okay? Some of them aren't properties, so like workspace is it's a child, baseplate is a child, but you can also do properties. So I can, and it also gives you a little hint. So yeah, we can basically change the color. So if we want to change the color, I'd say color equals, so you would set the color equal to a different color. So color 3 is how to change the color. And then so you can, so hex is if you guys don't know your hex codes, basically just look up color hex code. Alright, so these are hex codes. So it would have a hashtag, and it had like basically it had like 6 characters. It can be numbers, letters, whatever. So if I put hashtag FFFF, like 6 F's, then it would be white. Okay, the color would be white. See, for example, if I do hashtag 000, it would all be black. Okay. If I do hashtag FF0000, it would be red. So yeah, these are hex codes, but those are a lot more complicated. So what I do is RGB. So RGB is basically red, green, and blue. So it's arranged from 0 to 255. You can also look up the RGB, but also here's a cool thing about this. So if you do from RGB, you can actually click on the color wheel and you can choose your color. How amazing is that? So scripting is pretty easy, so you don't have to actually know the numbers. All you gotta do is click inside of it, click on the color wheel, you can change it whatever color you want. So now if I join the game, it should have changed the color of the base plate. So also we can also teach you guys debugging. So what you want to do is so what I want to do is, bro, they moved everything. I'm trying to open up this thing. Come on, bro. I can't find anything. I think it's under script. Yeah, script. Alright, so output. Baseplate is not a member. So what you want to do is you want to wait. So we can wait for child. So wait for child, you would put this. It would wait until it's loaded. So whenever the game's loaded, it will find it. So whenever I join the game, boom, as you can see, it changed the color. So yeah. And then what we could also do, so local script, it only shows to me. Server script is for everyone, okay? So you can basically make a door or whatever, You can make that on the client, but you don't want to do a secret door on the client because it can be exploited. Never trust a client. What you could do is send remote events, and those remote events I'll teach in a later video because remote events are more advanced. It communicates to the server, so you can send a request. It's almost like working with websites, like front end and back end. It'll send it to the server. The server checks the authenticity, and it'll send it back to the client to make sure they have permissions. And you want to do that so that way people can't exploit. So that way it double checks. So local is basically to declare a variable. So, like, I'm not going to teach you guys JavaScript in this video, but in JavaScript they have different ways to declare a variable. There's let, there's const. Oh, they have const in here too, in Lua. I did not know that. So const is basically a constant variable that doesn't change, okay? It's a constant variable. You could also do var, which means variable, but most people, they use local because it declares a variable. So we can make whatever variable we want. So we can say, blah, 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 or whatever we want, okay? But you have to remember that name. So whatever you put for the local, you can actually use that. So we're gonna set the value, okay? So for example, if we want to define player, so that way you don't have to type all this nonsense, okay? So if you want to define a player, you can set the value, okay? We're going to set the value to the local player, so that way when we call player, it knows what player is. So yeah, we can basically get their character. So if we want to find the player's character, so whenever it basically shortens our script. So if we want to get the character, we can do that. So that way when we call character, it gets the model, and we can basically find the character in the game. Yeah, so this is how you define a variable. I'm also going to show you guys if functions. So we can say if game, so if you want to check if certain players user ID equals the owner's user ID, you can print true. So let me copy user ID. That's cool. I did not know I could do it from there. There we go. We can say print. Print is basically the logging thing, so it'll print it in our console. Else print false. Alright, so you only need two equal signs. So if you do it, if you're checking the value of something, you want to put two equal signs, so that way it knows to check for that, okay? If you're setting something equal to something, you only need one, okay? So whenever I press play, you'll see down here it'll say true, because it is true. Now let's change it again. So if I put 1, so 1 is Roblox's, this is Roblox's user ID. Okay, so now they'll say false. So you can basically make a owner only script, but you don't want to do this in local because local is client. So the thing about local scripts is you can use like UI and stuff. So like you can make um, like button clicks and stuff. So if I was to make a UI, like an interface or whatever, I could code it where so local is basically detecting input. So we can also get services. So if I want to get all the players in the game, I can say game get service, and you can go through this. So this is all the services in Roblox. So we can do players, and basically that will get the player service. So workspace is a service, players is a service, lighting is a service, material service. So basically all these objects are services. Inside of those objects are not services. Those are models or like other items. Anyways, yeah, so the most important thing I want to teach you guys is all these variables. If you guys want to learn something very specific, let me know. I can make a video on it. I'm trying to do some tutorial videos that are easy. I just need some, because I'm not good at teaching. I'm not good at teaching coding. But if you guys give me something specific, I can show you guys exactly how to do it. And you guys can follow along. I'm trying my best to like make it simple. Because it's hard to learn coding. So yeah, so you want to start with local scripts if you're new, if you're a beginner. Just don't rely on them as much. I know everyone's gonna say that to you. You can use it for UI, stuff like that. But if it's something that like involves currency, like if you have in-game currency, you do not want to use local script for that, because the client can be manipulated and they can change the values. You want the values to be checked on the server, so the server is what processes the values to make sure they're correct. So that way, if it gets modified on the client, they can't actually use whatever currency they modified. So that's how my tycoon game is set up. So basically, if they try to trick it and say, oh, I have infinite money or whatever, and they go to buy something, it will tell them they don't have enough, because that's what you want. Okay, that's for security. You don't want them to be able to tell the server that they have that money when they actually don't have that money. So yeah, client, I would use this mostly for like local scripts. I would use that for like UI, things that you want to change on the user side that doesn't really affect the gameplay. So you don't want currency, you don't want like security stuff, you don't want any of that on the client. Yeah, so we can start with variables, and I'll teach you guys the rest in another video. So yeah, like I said, this is how you define a variable. So local is a variable. You can set the value. So the value is basically, like, how do I describe this? It's basically what makes that a variable, if that makes sense. So it's hard to describe. There's booleans. So if you hear someone mention the word boolean, that means true or false. So these are boolean values, these are number values, and this with the quotations is a string, so you can enter text. So basically, if I have a UI, I can say, oh, game dot starter GUI. You can do find first child, or you could do wait for child, and then you would find the UI, whatever it is. I would say screen GUI or whatever, and then I would say dot text label dot text. All right, so I'd say dot text, and I'd say equal hello world, and this, what this would do is it would set the text of that text label to hello world, okay, because this is a string. So strings is basically text, okay. If you put false in here, so inside of the quotations, if you put the word false, it will still count as a string. So if you check if this is true or false, it won't know what you're talking about because this is a string. So you gotta make sure, if you're using boolean values, you remove the quotations. So whatever, if it says false, but this doesn't have a false value. Alright, so it will give you an error because this is text. So text has to be a string, so we have to use the quotations. Yeah, so that's very important. As you type, it'll give you little hints, so you can just mess around with this. Press the dot, look through all of these. You can explore a little bit. You can check teams, visit, game ID. You can basically check if the game is loaded, so we would say if the game is, let's see, yeah, is loaded. So we would do if game is loaded, then you can do game.sound service find first child, and then you can find a sound intro, and then you can say play. Alright, so it'll, whenever the game is loaded, it'll play that sound. You can do it that way. So if else, basically you're giving it conditions, so it's going to check if the value is true or false, then it will do whatever you want it to do. Yeah, so I think that's going to be the end of this video. Let me know in the comments specifically what you guys want me to teach you, so that way I can make a series out of this, because I kind of want to do that. I'm just not good at like going over every specific detail in scripting. I just need something specific to code for you guys, so that way I can actually teach something. But yeah, all I taught you guys so far was variables, if statements, if else statements, properties, parent, child. So yeah, and also the parent and child tree, it can work either way. So this would be a parent, these all would be childs, but then this can also be a parent. So if there's something inside, this can also be a parent, then this becomes a child. So this is the parent of this child, this is the parent of this child. So it's basically, so this can be a child and a parent because it's a child of this, okay? But it's also a parent of texture, if that makes sense. Yeah, so that's basically what Lua is. It's parents and childs. That's why you use a lot of the dot notations, they call this a dot notation. And also you can also let me teach you guys one more thing. So I can basically get service starter GUI, find first child screen GUI, dot text label dot text. So basically you can also combine things. So I can say game dot, so I can say I can combine like text and what's it called, variables. So I can combine text and variables. So if you want to combine a string and a variable, what you want to do is say hello, or you could literally type whatever you want. So if I want to put a message, but I also want to include the player's actual name, so that way it's dynamic. So whoever joins the game, it'll say their name, and it won't be like hard coded. Hard coded means that it's that one set variable that doesn't change. But if you don't want it hard coded, this is what I'll do. I'll do game.players.localplayer.name. So it'll say hello, and it'll say my username. So yeah, and then if you want to add another string, you would do dot dot. So these dots is so that way it separates it. If you don't do two dots, it will give you an error. You need to do the two dots so that way it's not thinking that it's a property. So the two dot notation is so that way you can add more strings. Your game ID is, and then you would say, so after the string you would say dot dot game dot game ID. And yeah, basically you can combine variables and strings together. Just make sure you do the two dots after each quotation and before the start of the next string. And then whenever it's the end of the whenever it's at the end of the string, so if you have a variable at the end of the string, you don't need to put the two dots after, okay? Only two dots before, okay? So like for example, the game ID, so if this is the end of the string, I just put the two dots here. I put game.game ID, and then that's it, okay? So it'll say hello, real money developers, your game ID is, and whatever the game ID is. So the game ID, it would basically be whatever, so if I go to new tab and I view on Roblox, it'd be whatever this ID is. So /games, so that's the game ID. Yeah, so I think that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you guys need help with scripting, and I'll teach you guys. Yeah, so if you guys want something specific, like I can literally do data stores, I can do pretty much all of that. I just can't do like very advanced stuff. Sometimes I might have to build something, so I'd have to make, like, things would have to actually be in the game for me to code it easily. So like if I want to code a door to open, I would have to actually have the part there. So this would actually have to be the door and be in the game for me to code it. Some people, they don't make the door like open. Instead, they just make it where it turns on and off this property. Like, this is the easy way to do it, is turn off can collide, so that way there's no collisions. So that's the little shortcut that people do. Some people actually like want to animate it to make it more realistic. You don't have to. That's just if you want to. But yeah, that's the end of this video. This is gonna be members early access, so make sure you guys go and watch it. Let me know in the comments what I should do a tutorial on, and yeah, I can also teach you guys how to make leaderboards. So leaderboards is like basically shows your money, your, like, if you're making a racing game, it would show like how many laps you did. It's basically like analytics kind of thing, you know. It shows how, like it shows you statistics, like numbers and stuff like that. You can also use leaderboards for like group ranks. So if you want to show like what rank you are in a group, you could do that. So let's say you're the owner or admin in the group. I can also teach you guys overhead UIs. So yeah, that's my basic scripting tutorial. I can go in more detail if you guys need help, and yeah, make sure to smash the like and subscribe. Bye!